here. There we go. It's good. All right. Let's make sure that it's all running well and look. Okay. So now I'm good here. I'm set. So, yeah, where have you been for the last few months? I was told you had a big problem with your phone.
Yes, now, how am I being rated for it?
Rated. What do you mean by rated?
Who does it say?
Well, right now I have that it's calling you, but I had a message from somebody named Mike, and I think this is in regards to a, a car, but probably it might be somebody working on my car though. But I will figure that out a little bit later. But my question for you is, what happened to your phone?
Oh, I don't know. It just broke. I don't have. I have to be careful with it because I don't. All my calls I've been using lately, other than the standard ones, is I've got a leak for Sally, and then Mike, and then Bill, and Karen, and Nina, and there's this one other one, but it fell off with the label, so I don't know who it was I was talking to. But anyhow,
well,
how are you doing?
Well, I've been doing a little bit okay, but this month of November has been a little rough for me. I've been running into a lot of unforeseen expenses, and unfortunately, I've had to get my car serviced. I've paid probably close to about $2,000, or probably even more than that, probably closer to $3,000 for repairs, insurance, and basically servicing, so I can get my car back up and running to a tolerable condition.
Okay.
So right now, I think my car is fixed, but I have to go over and probably pay something like close to $1,000 for everything that they've worked on for it, and yeah, so I'm definitely tight on money.
If it works.
Well, right, and the biggest problem somehow, uh, with my fuel tank on my car, somehow inside the fuel tank on top where it's covered and connected to the car, somehow that had that assembly had become cracked, and they had to replace the whole assembly. And unfortunately, that was a big expense, so definitely I'm tight on money right now because of that. But so that's my first issue that I've been resolving. The second one, I don't know if you've heard about what happened to what's been going on with Nina, right? Or have you heard from her?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the name. Who was
it? Nina.
Oh, my Nina?
Yeah, you heard about what happened to her?
Tell me. What's going on?
So apparently, here's what the story's been going on here. Apparently, she broke up with her boyfriend. And the story goes is that the boyfriend became an alcoholic, and he became very aggressive and was attacking her, insulting her. Verbally. And
tell him I'll be glad to help him rearrange his face.
Well, sure, that'll be noted. But here's where it becomes even stranger. So apparently, according to what I've heard, her boyfriend is working in the Navy, and because of his job or whatever you want to, or his service, I guess if you want to call it that, he, they gave him they put him on a program, and my understanding was the whole story basically starts off with Nina basically kind of copying the situation of what Grandma had with PJ,
Yeah.
except for Nina wanted to have her boyfriend go over to the Navy because it's closer, and I think he's got somebody who's staying nearby or something.
Somebody sympathetic.
I guess, but
Uh-huh.
so from my understanding, I guess it was the government I don't know if it was the Navy or who exactly gave him a free place to live essentially while he was performing his duties or his service or however you want to go about naming it.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
uh, so he, basically is there for pretty much most of the day and then comes home in the evening. And
Yeah. So he's kind of he has to be in where?
well, he has to stay on that base when he's working.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right.
Right. And because he's out, and Nina used to have a job, remember? And she lost her job. I don't know if she told you that.
I heard that. Just heard that. Yeah.
She apparently, what happened was she came back from overseas back to the US and became very depressed because
Uh-huh.
she was not happy about her living environment here in the US, especially in comparison to where she was overseas, I guess on her vacation or a trip or something or the other.
Well, if the boy's misbehaving, she's better off away from him.
That's right. But what apparently has been going on is that, according to, I guess, the boyfriend and the boyfriend's like his buddy or somebody, um,
Uh-huh.
while he was away at work, and
Yeah.
this was after Nina had lost her job, she became, I guess, bored, right? Because she was at
Yeah.
home. Somehow, through some means, she became friends with, I guess, a neighbor who's living at that complex where they're at. And this neighbor, her story is basically her husband is a co-worker with Nina's boyfriend. And Nina became friends with this co-worker's wife. And somehow, through some means, Nina became, I guess, somehow involved in a relationship with this wife to the point where it became an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
And I don't quite understand how exactly that happened, but
she probably was helping her feel better.
that's what I'm thinking, was that this wife was probably trying to help her, I guess, feel better or whatever, and Nina decided to take this into being into an intimate relationship.
Uh-huh.
How this happened and why this occurred, I don't entirely understand it, but it became a serious relationship to the point where I guess was Nina who to somehow establish a three-way relationship between herself, boyfriend, and this wife. And Nina was going about to the point where she was forcing her boyfriend to basically have them go to a couples therapy, or I guess relationship therapy, however you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, at least that's in a decent direction.
Right. It sounds like would be, but the problem is that the boyfriend was basically, what he was wanting was for them to be just together, and it was just her and her boy, well, Nina and the boyfriend. But
Yeah.
Nina was wanting to have this wife of a coworker be in their relationship, which it gets confusing. Basically, from my understanding, Nina was having a romantic relationship with this coworker's wife.
Jeez.
And yeah,
That's not going to be good.
yes. And on top of that, this coworker had no idea of what's going on because he was overseas in active service.
Uh-huh.
So the boyfriend her boyfriend found out. The coworker of the boyfriend has no idea what's going on. And yeah. And so Nina's boyfriend was eventually found out and was very unhappy about this because he felt that he was kind of being, well, basically thrown under the bus, and that Nina was taking advantage of everybody. And
wow.
yeah, and so he started, I guess, becoming a habitual drinker or an alcoholic, I guess, as she was putting it. Became aggressive, and then Nina tried to get in touch with, her boyfriend's like friend or somebody, and was saying, "No, I'm not going to try to help you because you Nina started all mess." And so Nina broke up with the boyfriend, and now what she wants to do is to move in with this wife of the coworker. And she's forced this wife to go send, and this coworker and the wife have several kids. I want to say 3 or 4 children. And Nina's forcing this wife to go and send these kids over to somebody's, the grandfather or grandmother's house or somebody.
Get them off.
To get them away. So it's just Nina and this wife, this some kind of African American girl that Nina has a apparent romantic relationship with.
Well, she's going to be fighting.
That's what we're afraid of, is that, and what Nina's wanting to do is get this wife of this coworker, them to go and rent out some kind of a house or a hotel or a motel for about a month, so they can have their intimacy, whatever that's supposed to mean, and until sometime in December when this coworker is coming back home. And then I don't know what's going to happen. We're concerned that there may be some kind of drama or a fight will break out.
Probably.
Yeah,
it's not stable.
Yeah, it's definitely not stable. And on top of that, she wants to live with them instead of coming back home, here to North Carolina. She wants to live with them for free, basically becoming a freeloader, living off of their place until sometime in July. So we're looking at about 7-8 months free rent living there.
Yep.
Which I don't know how that's going to somehow create a conflict.
Well, somebody's got to shut it down.
I know, but the next step in this is that she wants to, sometime in next year in July, so next summer, she wants to eventually move out of this, coworker and this wife or this African American girl, and move in with some other friend of hers, some I don't know who he is exactly, other than what she's explained to me is a gay guy who used to be a fellow student at where she went to her college with. And so, and on top of that, Nina has spent somewhere around $700 in a bunch of animals and pets. She has 3 cats and 1 dog that she plans on moving in with her to this African American girl's house with her husband, and then moving.
So it's all going to the girl.
to the girl, which will then later be brought to this gay guy's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're trying to get her to basically come to her senses and get rid of all these animals. And then maybe we think it's a better direction to kind of skip this whole conflict with this, coworker and the coworker's wife to move in with this former friend or student. And this student, we've actually met before. We know who he is. He's kind of a pleasant gentleman, other than he happens to be in some sort of kind of relationship with somebody. But he wants to go to France, and Nina wants to go to France. And we found out that there's a program that is offered in France where she can get a master's degree, maybe possibly for free, which will give her, as a reward, French citizenship. So she can get, I guess, a dual citizenship in Europe and possibly stay there and work there and kind of get her life back on track.
She needs to get... Is she still getting therapy?
I think she is, but problem is whatever she's getting, because she first told me that she's going therapy, like couples therapy. Then she said that she's getting emotional therapy because she feels like she's a victim of either abuse from society and she's developed this victim mentality. And the other day she came up with this crazy ideas that that I apparently had tried to like physically attack her and her boyfriend, and that I don't know if you know Baba, that Baba is a racist, and that she's a victim of society, and that all these crazy things. And I know the only thing I know at one point was that she was given like an antidepressant or something to try to calm herself down, but clearly that's not working. And on top of that, she was not taking these antidepressants as needed, because she was mixing them with alcohol and possibly rumored to be with drugs. So we don't know what's really going on, other than she needs to avoid being in these conflict zones.
Yeah, well, be careful.
Yeah.
Help her, but don't get yourself in it too.
Well, that's what we're thinking, is that we should try to basically avoid all this. But I'm coming to ask you, what do you like, in your opinion, what do you think would be a good course of action? Because I know you used to do like therapy work before, family counseling, I think, at one point, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and a little more, but yeah, you're just gonna have to. You need to get people straightened out one at a time. Otherwise, they're going to swap you into what you don't want to be in.
That I agree with you there. That's why, we're thinking to avoid her boyfriend. Apparently, the boyfriend's now trying to come back into her life, I guess. And I guess Nina wants to do what she has called. She wants to do a polygamous relationship or a three-way marriage, which I've never heard of such a thing.
My goodness. That doesn't help anything.
I know, it doesn't help anything at all. So,
yeah, well,
I wanted to make you aware about this developing issue.
I'm glad you told me, because I'm not going to be friendly with this, because it's destructive.
I know. And I've tried to get in contact with her to sort of talk this out, to see maybe there's something I'm missing. But as soon as I get a hold of her, she hangs up the phone and refuses to talk to me, because she thinks that I'm out to attack her.
Yeah. Well, she's putting a lot of danger in her own, she better be careful.
I know, and I'm concerned is maybe she was maybe brainwashed by somebody, or I don't know what's going on. Like,
Yeah. Well, I know what you mean, and this is pretty dangerous.
I agree, this is dangerous.
What I would try to get her to come to to a registered therapist and bring in one or two people to try to break that thing down and out.
Well, who would you advise to bring in?
I don't really. I'm too far away to know, but I would try to get somebody who's a therapy person that has some skill with this and let them work on it. Otherwise, she better be careful. You know, it's not good at all. You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And or at least go to the center that she's at and try to get her to understand with the support of that counselor. She can't do it herself.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I just wanted to keep you aware because this is what I'm hoping is that eventually she'll get out of this relationship and it doesn't get worse.
Yeah.
Because she's sort of digging herself into a hole.
And it's very, very risky.
I know, it's extremely risky.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just want to let you know about this in case.
Let me know. I'm glad you let me know. Yeah. I'm not going to exactly, I'm going to try to stay on the side because she doesn't know me anymore.
Yeah, she hasn't talked to you in a while, and I've actually reached out to her and I said, "Hey, when did she last talk with you?" And she said that she doesn't know or doesn't remember.
Yeah.
And she keeps, whenever I keep asking, or somebody keeps trying to get a hold of her asking what she's been up to, she keeps saying she needs to go somewhere or drive. Oh, I think the phone ended. But yeah, guys, what do you think about this crazy situation? We did get a hold of Sped Dad finally. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and comment down below what you would do in this situation. Otherwise, thank you all so much. We'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.